Reatau, welcome to CGTN.
Thank you.
Let's talk about rugby.
Well, thank you.
Kumo, as you say, here in PNG. So this is a long time history sport for your country.
Yeah, rugby league is the national #1 sport. And we call it national #1 sport because only in the recent times when we had the women's team come into the play, it is now truly the national #1 sport. 8 million people of Papua New Guinea has an emotional connection to rugby league.
It's amazing.
And like I said, generally our chairman has always said in a movie documentary that Katinia, our women's captain, will come shortly, but in the opening remarks it says there's 3 common denominators in Papua New Guinea. 1, God. 2, language pidgin. 3, rugby league.
Oh, so you have a lot of responsibility to develop that sport.
Very big responsibility.
Yeah. How to do the massive scale education, first of all, to educate the players, to cultivate this culture. Secondly, how do you get funding, to support these teams? I mean, after all, you still have a limited population to support such a big sport. And thirdly, how would you get competitive, win more in the international competitions?
Tian, great question. A number of points that you raised here. First of all, we had to rebuild the whole organization 5 years ago. It started with a great board, all governance structures were rebuilt, the management structures were built. We knew we had a talent in sports, but this game is basically played a lot by Australia, England, and New Zealand. They dominated sport, and traditionally we've always played, but not when we got beaten many times. But with the governance reforms, the management reforms, and everything that we did in the game, it changed the way we were doing things, and we began to see performance on the field.
Like what?
Oh, we had proper contracts for players. We had disciplines within the team. We had values to work towards. So the football operations, the actual people who coach and the team who look after the actual football side, they had values like respect, accountability, and teamwork, from the national team all the way down.
Yes.
And so those are some of the things that we tried to do to change the perception from just a physical game to a game that was more enjoyed, so that families can go to and watch it. And then kids can go and watch it, because in the past it's like a scene, there's violence in it. And we've tried to change that from being a violent sport to a family enjoying sport, so the players can play within the rules, discipline, and enjoy the game.
But on the other hand, you talk about competition already at the very beginning. And the team of Australia, team of New Zealand, they're extremely strong. The UK as well.
Exactly.
But the question is, what about Papua New Guinea? I mean, when you go to international competition, of course you want to do well, and you want to share that pride with the people. So there is the thing, the competition.
A very, very good point. Rugby League World Cup. The last World Cup was played in 2017, and we were very honored to be one of the hosts between Australia, New Zealand, and Port Moresby. We hosted the World Cup. We had 3 games here. We won our games. We went to quarterfinals. We lost to England in Melbourne. But that has given us a desire to do well. We now have a 10-year strategic plan.
Okay.
And in 10 years, we want to be in the top 5 out of all the nations that are playing the sport. So we've got a 10-year strategic plan.
You realize that, my friend. That's a very ambitious plan.
Very, very ambitious.
How can you get there?
Look, there are areas that we've got to work hard on, which means that we've got to have succession planning. We've got to have players playing a lot more in Australia at the high levels of the game and in England. So when the national events, when the competition comes in, we bring players who already playing at elite level to be in here. That's the reason why Samoa, Tonga, they collect the players from Australia to represent their countries. We have decided that we build our domestic within their country first, and then export our players to Australia. And that's what we're doing right now.